Today, we're going to be starting a YouTube faceless channel entirely from scratch. Now, at the age of 19, I've made millions of dollars from YouTube and Snapchat. You guys can see the plaques behind me. I'm not here to sell you a course. This video is just going to be showing you guys really how easy it is. Now, I am kind of limiting myself in this challenge because I have sort of my face attached to it, and some of you guys are obviously going to go to the channel and kind of ruin the engagement and stuff like that. But you know what? Let's give it a crack. Let's see what happens. Hopefully, this is a very long-term series where we kind of eventually scale this channel into the six-figure a year range. So I'm going to be showing you just how easy it is. Let's lock in. Just before we start quickly, I'm going to go ahead and show you some of my Snapchat shows and how much revenue we've actually done, just so you know I'm not completely full of shit or that I'm not a complete liar to you guys. Then, you shouldn't copy me. If you see some stranger just telling you how to do something, don't initially just go and copy everything they do if they don't have any sort of social proof attached to their branding. So let me go ahead and load this and show you the millions of dollars that I have made. Alrighty, so this is one of our Snapchat shows. You guys can see Fax Machine. It's done about $12,000 this month. Obviously, we had a massive drop off just because Q1 just started. So today we've done 2,000, the day before that 800, and we have like 8 of these. We have another one here, which is a meme show that has done 12,000 this month, and just so many of those. This is just to show you that I know what I'm talking about and you can trust what I say. But let's go ahead and get straight in. First on our list, we need to find a niche with longevity. Now, for this challenge specifically, I'm really leaning towards a shorts channel. I think that's what's going to be the most beneficial for us. And I have seen a channel that looks very promising for what we want to do, and that's Screen Addicts. Now, what these guys do is essentially Family Guy clips, like 5 more of the funniest physics-defying moments in Family Guy. And these are really easy to automate with AI, and I think we'll be able to replicate this on our channel quite easily. But Family Guy is becoming a little bit oversaturated, so what I think we do is maybe come up with a different niche. Now, there's so many we can do, but what I was sort of leaning towards was The Simpsons. I'm not 100% sure yet that that's what we're going to go with, but I think that's what we might be going with. Let me go ahead and do some research, do some due diligence, and just look into this and see really what one we should really get into. Alrighty guys, so I think I know what we're going to go ahead and do. We're going to copy this style of shorts, which is very, very easy to automate, but rather than doing Family Guy, we're going to go ahead and do Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra. Now, these two shows have massive fan bases. They've been around since 2005. They're always expanding. There's actually going to be a live action movie made. Netflix just released their live action of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and there's so much new content coming out, like new movies, everything like that. So it gives us a lot of room to scale. There's actually a channel called The Avatarist, and what they do is long form versions of Avatar, and they're getting quite a lot of views. I mean, look at this. Their recent has obviously 7K, but they just posted it. 100,000, 200,000. Every video is getting over 100K views. So I'm thinking if we do this, but for shorts specifically, we will see some really good results. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get our channel set up. Alright guys, now if you don't already know, when you're doing shorts specifically, you don't want to use a channel that already has videos on it, obviously. It's pretty self-explanatory, but you also don't want to make a fresh channel. You want to use an older channel that you've had and that is aged. So if I go to this channel, you guys can see it was made in 2022, so that should be good enough for us to use. It also is verified with 1 subscriber. Back in the day, I had a strategy to basically verify any channel at any amount, so that's the reason why this channel is verified. I just did that on a bunch of different accounts. But what we're going to go ahead and do is essentially start branding this to be what we want. Now, I'm thinking something like Avatar. You know what, actually? Now that I think about it, I think I have a channel that would be perfect for this. One sec. Guys, this is such a coincidence. I actually was planning to do something like this a while ago. Look at this. I have a channel called Avatar Law that's verified with 2 subscribers. All right. Well, this is going to be our starting point. It should be quite old. Yep, 2022. So we've essentially just hit the gold mine. Let's go ahead and use this. We'll go with the name Avatar Law just because it's already set up. We may as well go with it. For the handle, I'm not a fan of it being Avatar Laws. Let's go ahead and make that like Avatar Law YT or something. Go ahead and save that. Now, we're on to actually making our content, which I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly how we do. Then we'll get on to making the scripts, organizing the teams, getting the first video done, and everything like that. Let's get right into it. Now, what we're going to go ahead and do is, if you guys don't know, ChatGPT 4 just came out and it is insane. Essentially, what you can do is you can train models. Now, I have run essentially a bunch of channels on this. You can train the model to do whatever style you want. So let's go ahead and make sure we turn on the search the web option. What this is going to do is essentially allow us to search the web for whatever we want, and it will use ChatGPT to get the correct information on specific episodes and stuff like that. let me go ahead and just give it a really good prompt, obviously with some research, and you guys can just copy exactly what I do prompt-wise. Should make it a bit easier for you guys to follow. So we've gone ahead and given it a pretty good prompt. I just stole one from my old channel, which is essentially, I'm starting a YouTube channel for shorts about Avatar and Legend of Korra moments, and I want it to be engaging for short form. Remember, 30 to 50 second videos. Here's an example of a script. I gave it an example, and then I said, that's an example of the script. Now I want you to write me another, quoting accurately from Avatar The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. I want you to make sure, and this is very important, it's 100% accurate with the facts and exactly where the points are. Remember, this is for short form, so we need to maximize retention. I'm going to go ahead and send that, and let's see if there's any extra steps we need to take, or if this is going to be good right off the bat. There we go. So, all right, sweet. It's gone ahead and done it. 5 times Aang's actions led to potential deaths in Avatar. Now, this isn't really the style we're going from, so I'm going to say remove all the extra scripts, like intro that are in brackets, because obviously we don't want that, all the numbers, etc. No need for an outro. Remember, this is short form. We need to maximize retention. Gonna go ahead and send that, and obviously you just work with your model. You keep working on it, and eventually you have a god tier model that you can just send scripts, or you can send an idea, and it will do the entire thing instantly. So it's gone ahead and done it. So let me go ahead and read this. In the Northern Air Temple, Aang triggers an avalanche that to halt Fire Nation soldiers. I'm gonna say we still need the intro at the very start. So I would say for each, maybe in season 2, episode 4, etc., for the start of each sentence. And then for the intro, let's say 5 times Aang actually killed people in Avatar. Now, that's kind of going to train it to the model that I want it to be specifically. So there we go. Perfect. It's done it amazingly now. 5 times Aang actually killed people in Avatar. In Season 1, Episode 17, The Northern Air Temple, Aang triggers an avalanche to halt Fire Nation soldiers. While their fates aren't shown, it's plausible some didn't survive. Now, this is absolutely perfect. The only thing I'm going to tell it to change is remove the episode names. We don't need that. So we can remove all of these episode names, and now this should be essentially taught on what we want. So I'm going to go ahead and see now. Perfect. Amazing. We've got our script. It is actually very, very good. Now what we're going to test it with is give it another script. We're going to say 5 times Aang spoke to the audience. Now, Aang is obviously a character in Avatar. You don't have to do Avatar. You can do any other niche, but there we go. Okay, now it's not following the old strategy, so I'm going to go ahead and say, you had the strategy and style perfect before. Can we copy that and keep it the same? Now, this should go back to what it previously was and continue that. Beautiful. Here we go. Now, we have our script for the first video here. I'm going to go ahead and save this right here. Now, we'll go ahead and copy it. Next step is getting our voice act, obviously for our first video, but we have our sort of strategy all done now. So all we really have to do is get our voice and then get editing. Obviously, for a shorts channel, this is really our only expense. For our voice, I'm thinking we go with Alex. I know it's a really good voice for what we need. So let's go ahead and, okay, 5 times, yep, looks perfect. While Aang is committed to preserving life, these moments highlight the complexities and unintended consequences of his actions during the war. So I'm going to change this a little bit to be like, Aang is usually portrayed as a pacifist. So it's interesting to see these. Now, one thing you also want to do is at the end of a short, you want to hook it. So you want to have their attention. So at the very end, the outro, you may see some people do this. You want to have the outro hook back into the intro. So what it's going to do is, you know how the start of the video, with short specifically, once the video ends, it's going to instantly replay it. So this is 5 times Aang actually killed people. So I'm going to go ahead and say Aang is usually portrayed as a pacifist. So it's interesting to see these. So did you know? And then what that's going to do is my editor can then hook that outro back into the intro, causing a higher engagement and people that rewatch the video not knowing that it ended. I'm going to press generate script and let's give this a listen.
5 times Aang actually killed people in Avatar in Season 1, Episode 17.
Guys, absolutely beautiful. Let's go ahead and download this right now. I've gone ahead and saved that. Now we're on to the next step, which is actually finding talent and organizing your editing and your team and everything like that. I'm really excited for this channel. I think it's going to do quite well. Now, what we've gone ahead and done is headed over to Discord. Now, this is where I personally find my editors and find talent. Now, we're going to go ahead and first off, make a Discord server so we can kind of organize our community. This channel is obviously called Avatar Lore, so we're going to call it Avatar Lore Jobs. We'll create this server. Now we're obviously going to want to delete all of the tech channels, and we're going to make a separate channel just for our workers. Obviously, the only real worker we need for a channel like this is editing. In the future, we might be able to hire like an ideation person, someone that actually does the scripts for us and does all the ideas. But for now, we really don't need it just because it's such low effort. So we're going to go ahead and create 2 roles. Now, we're going to make an owner role, which is obviously just going to be myself because it doesn't really matter too much. And then because we only have editing, which if you're doing a long form channel, you're of course going to have like script writing, voice acting, everything like that. Give us the owner role and bang, our server's set up essentially. So now what we're going to go ahead and do, and nobody else will show you this. This is Creative Paradise. It is discord.gg/creative paradise. It is, and I'm not sponsored, I don't give a shit. This is kind of the essential place of where you find, people to do your videos. Now, as I said before, we're going to need to give it a reference. Let's go ahead to that Screen Addict channel, which we were on before, and let's give it an example of a video we need edited. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. Now we're going to head back to this channel, and we're going to say short form editor needed. We're going to say this is a very long-term position to do simple short edits for our Avatar The Last Airbender channel. He's going to say, here's an example video. We're going to give an example. We're going to say budget per video is 25 USD, which is obviously, we're going to make it lower than that. We're just saying that so we don't get banned, because in this server specifically, if you set your budget too low, you'll get banned. So we set that higher, and once they start DMing us, that's when we go ahead and change the price. It's a bit scummy, but it's fine because they're still agreeing to do it. We're going to say time frame, 1 day, and we're going to say must provide a sample before signing. And then we're going to say, keep in mind, this is a very long-term position. Now, what we're going to go ahead and do is make sure we're pinging the roles content editor and montage editor. As you guys can see, there is like thousands of editors here, 855 just online at the moment. So when we go ahead and press this, what that's going to do is ping them. So now we can go back and we'll start getting a bunch of DMs right here in our message request. You guys will see very shortly what that's going to start doing is just stacking up. We're going to be getting hundreds of DMs, and we're essentially going to go to each of them and ask for a sample. Once we've received a sample, we'll pick the best ones and we'll invite them to our server, and then our channel will be automated. We'll post it daily for the next few months, and let's kind of see where we end up. But let me go ahead and cut back to when we get our first kind of submissions and people that are interested in signing our deal. I'm going to go ahead and up the budget a little bit just so we get some more DMs quite quickly. Alrighty, and we've started getting DMs already. Here we go. So we've got about 3 so far. This guy's saying, hey, I heard you need an editor. I'm going to say, hey, can you do a sample by chance? I can send over the material, but we need it ASAP, which basically means as soon as possible. I'm going to go ahead and send that to every single person that just DM'd me right there. Hey, Judy, saw you looking for an editor. Amazing. We've gone ahead and sent over kind of the sample information to some of these guys. Once we get a response, hopefully it's positive, and let's see what they can do. This guy just said yes, so I'm going to go ahead and upload the file, which is that sample audio. I'm going to say this is for Avatar The Last Airbender. So you're going to need to go grab the footage itself and make the content. Bang. Just like that, we've essentially automated the team. All we need now is bang, we got another 2 DMs. Let's also go ahead and just send them what we just said to those other guys. We'll say, hey, can you do us a sample? And can you do us a sample? Once we have these samples, we should be ready to go. We'll hire the editor, we'll get him on board, and we'll start pumping out consistent scripts on obviously that Avatar Lore channel. Now, once that's done, we really don't have much to do besides sit back, relax, and wait for the views to come in. What I'm going to go ahead and quickly do is make a few changes just to make the channel perfect, and I will cut back to when that is done. Alrighty, so we've gone ahead and made those changes. I think it looks alright. We have Avatar Lore, dedicated to all things Avatar The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra related. Subscribe for daily videos. Now, we have a nice banner. We're obviously verified, which makes no difference to performance. I don't want any of you guys commenting, oh, the reason why you did well is because you're verified. That has nothing to do with it. Don't worry. It's actually going to make no difference. I'll say, he said, sure, man, is it paid if it's up to par and we work together? Yes. Now, we have a bunch of DMs. Let's see what they say. That's fine. And yes, crypto works. Now, we've got a bunch of DMs. I'm going to go ahead and send our sample to every single one of these guys. And yeah, let's see what happens. Hopefully it's positive. And there we go. Everyone's saying open to a sample. Now, by the time you're watching this, I'm hoping we have the first video out. We might not, but If we do, that's going to be awesome. So we've gone ahead and checked off all the boxes. First, find the niche with longevity. Avatar's been around for years. It's not going anywhere. It's perfect for longevity. Automate a team. That's what we're doing right now with the samples. Start creating content. That's already on its way. Now, guys, if you have enjoyed, be sure to subscribe. Once again, I am not selling a course. I have a mentorship, which is one-on-one, which is linked in the description, blakeryan.co, where I work directly with clients and scale them to 10K a month. But that's very high ticket. Only fill out the form if you're interested and you have a high budget. But guys, hopefully this is going to be a very long-term series where we really start growing channels and get into everything. So without further ado, I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.